Top Democrats are once again calling for Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas to resign after a new report revealed more about the justice's lavish lifestyle, that he accepted even more unreported luxury gifts from billionaires than was previously known. And yes, he certainly appears to have crossed ethical lines. But does that really mean he should resign? Or is that just another reason for those on the left to try to get him out? Let's dig into it. According to ProPublica, the conservative justice has been gifted at least 38 destination vacations, 26 private jet flights, as well as an additional 8 by helicopter, multiple VIP passes to sporting events, etc. The investigation looks at the relationships between Thomas and GOP megadona Harlan Crow, former Berkshire Hathaway executive David Sokol, the late billionaire H. Wayne Huizenga, and oil baron Paul Tony Novelli. The total value of Thomas's undisclosed trips apparently could be in the millions. Ethics experts mentioned that failing to disclose some of those gifts violates the law. This adds on to ProPublica's April report into Thomas's life, which detailed unreported luxury trips the justice had been taking for years on the dime of Harlan Crow, who was the only one out of the men mentioned whose name appeared on Thomas's financial disclosures, and that, it turns out, was a big omission. Thomas's relationship with Crow was one he defended, saying Harlan and Kathy Crow are among our dearest friends. We've been friends for over 25 years, as friends do. We've joined them on a number of family trips during the more than quarter century we've known them. But these other gifts from people he only met after he became a Supreme Court justice make it tougher to justify. Now, not surprisingly, many top Democratic lawmakers are calling for him to resign. Representative Jayapal said, "Unprecedented, stunning, disgusting, the height of hypocrisy, to wear the robes of a SCOTUS and take undisclosed gifts from billionaires who benefit from your decisions. Resign." Representative Bill Pascrell, "He's corrupt as hell. He should resign today." Representative Ted Lieu, "No government official, elected or unelected, could legally or ethically accept gifts of that scale. He should resign." But here's the issue. There has long been ambiguity about whether Supreme Court justices are actually required to abide by ethical laws that other federal judges have to live by. And other justices have seemingly crossed ethical lines, including liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor, even though this is more egregious. But the calls for him to resign still feel political. If this had been Sotomayor with these facts, I'll bet liberals would say, oh, we need to better police the ethical standards, but they wouldn't be calling for her to resign. After all, there is no evidence to suggest he was corrupted or that his relationships influenced any of his decisions. In the ProPublica report, it said ProPublica has not identified any cases that Huizenga, Sokol, or Novelli had at the Supreme Court during their documented relationships with Thomas, even though their industries were impacted. And while Crow had an interest in one case that was briefly before the court 20 years ago and Thomas should have recused, it seems to me the standard for forcing a justice to resign should be higher. Joining me now is Michael Starr Hopkins, an attorney who believes Justice Clarence Thomas should resign. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. What's your argument?
Thanks for having me. Look, I mean, there's a reason the Supreme Court's approval rating is at an all-time low, 30%. It's because of these type of brazen, corrupt abuse of powers by justices like Supreme Court Justice Thomas. When you have him getting 9 flights, 9 helicopter rides for free, millions of dollars worth of gifts from people who potentially could have cases in front of him. He's got a nephew whose school was being paid for. His mom's house was being renovated. It's not merely just that it looks bad. It really erodes the trust, the public trust in the courts. And at the end of the day, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the nation. They decide things like potentially elections. And when the country doesn't have faith that justices are deciding things on their merits and they're deciding them based on potential donations, we have a real problem.
Well, but again, there shouldn't be any reason that people think that the decisions are being made based on donations unless people are telling people that, because there isn't any evidence that that was the case. But I agree with you on the appearance of a conflict. It matters. It's real. Judges across the country go out of their way to avoid those appearances of conflict.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.